So I'm Ray Rickman. I went to a rather average college to start, Eastern Michigan. Great teachers college, but you didn't want to go there for any other reason, and I went there for other reasons. The other reason was it was cheap. And then I got a whole bunch of scholarships. I learned things, and I went to Wayne State University, really second best school in Michigan, at least state school. It wasn't University of Michigan, but it was up there. So I'm pretty happy with my college career. Now, in the last 40 years, I've been in the shadow of Brown, in the shadow of Yale, in the shadow of Harvard. And the reason for me being in the shadow is I know people. And I've known number one, number two, number three admissions person at all three of those schools. They're good friends, and they tell me stories. And then I watch fascinating things. I watch and I won't name names, but I watch rich African Americans, kids coming to those schools instead of going to Morehouse or Fisk. They decided to go to Ivy's. And so the mother and fathers were 20 million, then 100 million, 400 million, and the black kids get in. And it's a fascinating kind of a thing because, of course, white kids have been getting in, rich white kids. And I've known hundreds of these students, and a third of them you say, they're brilliant, they should be in Yale. And the others you'd say, nah, not so much. I'm surprised how they got in. And then, of course, you hear their last name and you find out that mother's worth $250 million. So, you know, people have been buying their way into these schools for 150 years, since the 1880s. You promised to build a dorm. You promised to build a swimming pool. You fix the rowing buildings. You endow a scholarship. Buying their way into schools and getting ahead of all the other folks. Now we have this scandal of people who are rich. A couple of them are really rich, but most of them, they're worth $20 million. That's all, $30 million. And they have to bribe the coach to give their daughter a phony resume, sports, athletic, something. And then they let her in because in the athletic department, you can be C+ because you're a great football player. Now, first, this is not true in any other country in the Western world. It's not true in Canada or any place in Europe that you, athlete, get ahead of other people. You have the skills or you don't. You have the academic credentials or you don't. We waive all this if you're a football player. And so these crooks come up with phony tennis players. All of a sudden the daughter's a great tennis player and she doesn't even play the game. And then she gets to the school, they don't even do a phony thing and put her on the team. Now, at some of these elite select schools, they suit you up. They make you a football suit. You never play, but you're on the football team anyway. Well, they just skipped that. What the U.S. Attorney said, and I found it absolutely breathtakingly honest. You ready? Said, normally the way you get in these schools is to build a boathouse. But they decided just to bribe the coach, and that's illegal. But you can bribe the university. That's legal. They have legacy. Who dreamed that up? You're rich. You're generally white. Your grandfather went someplace. Your great-grandfather went, and whatever. I have a quasi-relative family, 7 generations to Harvard. 7 generations to Harvard. So each kid is bright enough to get into Harvard. You ready? I know them. I won't get too personal. But all of this stuff is a class society. Most of it is race. All of it is wrong. All of these universities, starting with Brown University, should abolish legacy. Abolish it. You get no points because of who your grandfather was. You have coaching. You have after school, somebody's paying somebody to help you up your grades. You've got all of these things and a mother who has a degree and books and videos and language coaches and everything. And then you get free points for legacy. It's absurd. And then people are complaining about affirmative action that works 5% of the time. And legacy works 99% of the time to get you in. You have every benefit in the world, and now they give you another one. Now they're going to put the coach in jail for taking the money. He actually stole the university's money. God bless America, and might we get better at being fair.